So, if you're looking to hire a digital marketing agency as a financial advisor, you've probably reached the point where you've done some research on different digital marketing strategies or things to do with lead generation and ways to grow your firm. But you probably reached the point where you feel like this is maybe a little bit too time consuming for you to be doing all this. Or maybe there's some things that are just a little bit outside your area of expertise. And you'd probably rather that someone else can either take care of all of this for you or at least point you in the right direction so you know exactly what it is that you need to do in order to get the best possible results as a financial advisor. So, in this video, I'm going to go through what are the things that you need to look for in order to hire the best digital marketing agency who can help financial advisors, and hopefully how you can do this without wasting any time or money. Now, first of all, let me address the elephant in the room. Yes, this video is going to be a little bit biased, but it's still going to be super helpful. The reason it's biased is because I own a digital marketing agency that helps financial advisors. However, in this video, what I want to do is give you some questions that you can potentially ask any digital marketing agency that you want to work with that can help financial advisors. So these are good questions to ask so that you can find the best digital marketing agency to partner with that can help you and your firm grow, and also find a digital marketing partner that actually aligns to you and your goals. So hopefully by the end of the video, you have all the information you need in order to make an educated decision as to how to hire the best digital marketing agency as a financial advisor. So the first question you want to ask that I have here is, do they have proven results specifically for financial advisors? Now, this is really important because there are literally thousands of different digital marketing agencies out there. But if you want to increase the chances that you're going to get the best possible results, then it's important that you find a digital marketing agency that has already worked with financial advisors in the past. And the reason this is so important is because in order to get more leads, appointments, and clients as a financial advisor, you need to be able to have, number one, the right strategy, and number two, you need to also be able to have the right messaging. In fact, the strategy and the messaging itself is probably what influences 80% or more of the results. So if you're working with an agency that has never worked with a financial advisor before, they're probably going to have to test different messages and maybe even test different strategies to see which one works best for you and your specific business. Now, there's nothing wrong in that, but if you can work with someone that has already tested the messages and strategies that work best specifically for financial advisors, then obviously that's going to shortcut the time it takes for you to get results, and you'll be able to decrease the chances that you don't get any results and increase the chances that you do get results as fast as realistically possible. So the more success a digital marketing agency has had working with clients that are similar to you, the higher the chances are that you'll also be able to get a positive result. So for example, with our agency, we've worked with hundreds of different financial advisors, and we've worked on campaigns specifically for retirement planning, wealth management, annuities, tax planning, and pretty much anything to do with targeting retirees and pre-retirees, and targeting high net worth individuals or people that have anywhere from maybe 250K in investable assets to $1 million or more in investable assets. So this experience allows us to know what messages will likely work well for you and your business. And if you'd like to see some examples, you can just go to our website, click on the results page, and then you'll see a whole bunch of different testimonials and even in-depth case studies that go through behind the scenes what we do for other clients, so you can actually see what it is that we do in order to get results. So if you'd like to check that out and see how it all works, just click the link in the description of this video, because that will go through my free masterclass training, and it will go through the strategy that we use for financial advisors. And you'll also be able to see our different case studies and client results and testimonials as well when you click on that video. Now, just as a disclaimer, just because a marketing agency hasn't worked with a financial advisor, it does not mean that it's not possible to get any results. And I say this because sometimes there are niches or industry that we have not worked with before, yet we still work with them for the first time and we still get results relatively quickly. So if the marketing agency you're working with does have a proven track record in other industries, it could still work. It's just that if they have more experience in your industry, there's just a higher chance that it will work, and that it will likely work quicker as well. So the next question that you can ask is, do they focus on results or brand awareness? And this is a really important one, because some marketing agencies out there, their focus is all going to be on the vanity metrics, like getting more likes, followers, engagement, and things like that. Now, there's nothing wrong in those things. You know, it's great to get more views and get more likes and engagement, but likes and engagement and views are not what actually generates clients. And I learned this the hard way when I started my business over 15 years ago now. When I originally started, my focus was, without realizing it, all about getting more likes, more engagement, posting more, doing things that would just contribute to vanity metrics, but it wouldn't actually generate any leads, appointments, and clients. And ultimately, if you want to get results, you need to focus on getting leads, appointments, and clients. And as a bonus, when you focus on getting leads, appointments, and clients, you'll get all the other things anyway. You'll get the views, you'll get the likes, you'll get the engagement. All of that will happen naturally. But the difference is if you focus on getting leads and appointments, and if you focus on what really matters, it's going to increase the chances that you get results, which ultimately is getting more clients. It's going to increase the chances that you get that a lot quicker compared to if you just focus on these vanity metrics. So I'll give you a quick example of a vanity metric that a lot of people make a big mistake with, and that would be posting on social media. So you can post all day on LinkedIn and on Facebook and on different social media channels. But if you're already doing that, chances are you already know that it doesn't bring in any clients. And I know, again, because I've done this and I used to do this for years and I didn't really see any results from it, but I did it because that's what everyone else says you need to do. But the reality is, what you really need to do is you need to focus on a specific strategy that is focused on getting your ideal clients to go from a stranger that has never heard about you before to someone that actually trusts you and wants to work with you. So the way that we do this for our clients is by using what's called a video sales letter. A video sales letter educates your potential clients about how you can help them and why working with you is better than other alternative solutions that are out there. So that way, when they watch that video, they'll be more inclined to actually want to work with you and actually want to schedule a call with you versus someone that just randomly sees an ad online or randomly, finds your website from a Google search or something like that. If people can actually learn why working with you is better than other alternative solutions, you're going to get not just more leads, but you're going to get better quality leads and appointments as well. So again, if you want to learn more about how that video sales letter strategy works, click the link in the description of this video to watch my free masterclass training, because that goes through how it all works in more detail. And pay special attention to step 2 in that video, because in step 2, that's when I go through how to create this video sales letter. Now, the next question is a very important one, because this is something that I hear all the time from people that have worked with another marketing agency, got really bad results, and now they're frustrated and they're maybe a little bit cautious with who they work with next because they've been burned in the past. So this question will help you avoid getting burned. And that is, what happens if you don't get the result? So what happens if things don't work as planned? Now, in business, you have to understand that there's always going to be a risk that something won't work. The only thing that you can do in business is to do things to either increase the chances that it will work or decrease the chances that it won't work. But there's always going to be a risk no matter what happens. So what happens if, in the worst case scenario, you don't get any results, or maybe the results are not as good as expected? What will that marketing agency do in order to fix the problem? So what other clients have told me when they've been burned in the past by other marketing agencies is they've told me that when they didn't get the promised result, they either, number one, had to pay extra for additional support or another program to get the result that they paid for in the first place, which to me is just crazy, but that's just how it works in this industry. Or number two, they had to keep paying them a monthly retainer, which could be anywhere from $2,500 a month to $5,000 a month or more, in order for them to continue helping them get the result that they wanted to get in the first place. And here's the thing, if you stop paying them, they stop helping you. So sometimes it's actually in the marketing agency's best interest not to get you the result quickly, because once you're getting results, you're going to stop paying them, and then they're potentially going to lose the client. So in a way, the way that most marketing agencies are typically structured is that they can sometimes make more money the longer it takes for you to get a result, because the longer you have to keep paying them that monthly retainer. And then the other thing that other clients have told me can happen when they've been working with another marketing agency in the past is that they just stop helping them, and they don't do anything else to help them. And it kind of feels like they've been scammed, or that they've just wasted all that money because they didn't get the result, and now there's no extra support or anything else that they can do to help. So these options, as you can see, increase the risk that it doesn't work, because if you don't get the result, you have to pay extra, or they just don't help you with anything else. Now, obviously, every marketing agency is different. This is just what I've been told from other clients who have been burned by other marketing agencies in the past. So what do we do that's different when it comes to getting results? How would I answer this question? What happens if you don't get any results? What happens if it doesn't work? Well, what we do with our clients, which is really unique, is that we have a performance promise, which basically guarantees that if they don't get at least 10 to 30 or more qualified booked appointments on the calendar when launching their campaign within the first 30 days, we keep working with them for free until they do. This then means it's actually in our best interest to get our clients results as fast as realistically possible, because once they're getting results, we've completed the project, we've completed the campaign, and they're not going to need our help anymore. Now, we do have other additional services we can help them with later on, but those are to help them scale up to the next level. However, all of that stuff is optional. If they don't do nothing else, they've already got the result that they paid for. So that's why with us, we only charge a one-time investment in order to create the campaign, to launch it, to manage it for you, and we keep working with you until you get that result. So again, nothing is ever 100% risk-free or guaranteed, but what this does is it actually decreases your risk, because it means that we are going to do everything in our power to get you the results as fast as realistically possible. So the next question that I recommend that you ask is, do they use automated and evergreen marketing strategies? So a lot of marketing strategies can be really good, but they just take so much time. And the problem is, these strategies that take so much time are not very scalable, and they're not very enjoyable as well. And I'll give you a great example of this. So many different financial advisors that I've spoken to before working with us, they would work with a lead generation or a marketing company, and that company would essentially sell them leads. So what would happen is they would generate a lead. Well, the marketing company would generate a lead. It would sell the lead to the financial advisor. And then what the financial advisor had to do was chase that lead in order to get an appointment. So their whole day was spent calling leads, texting leads, emailing leads, just trying to get an appointment, just trying to get a single conversation. And sadly, a lot of the time when they did have that conversation, sometimes it just wasn't even a good lead in the first place, or they weren't even a good fit. But what if there was a way to just automate that whole process? What if there was a way to get leads to be motivated and excited to want to speak with you, and get them to schedule a call in your calendar rather than you chasing them to schedule that call in your calendar? So that's exactly what we do with our clients. That's why we use that video that I mentioned earlier, that video sales letter. We use that video in a way as a salesperson who speaks to your leads 24/7, anytime, any day, anywhere. And when leads watch that video is going to be doing most of the selling and the chasing for them, but it's an automated video. Leads can watch that video anytime. So if they watch that video at 4 in the morning, for example, which by the way, I've seen happen before with some leads, they have watched a video at 4 in the morning. If they do watch that video at 4 in the morning when you'd probably be sleeping, they can then go ahead and schedule a call in your calendar because they're interested in learning more about working with you. And all of this happens automatically. So all you need to do is just pick up the phone and talk to people that have scheduled that call with you, which saves you a ton of time. And it also means that you get better quality calls with people that are actually excited and interested in learning more about working with you. Another important question to ask is, will you actually own the system? So this is really important, because what a lot of people don't realize is that sometimes when you pay another company for help with marketing, or if you pay them to set up a marketing system or set up some sort of lead generation campaign, a lot of the time they keep ownership of that thing that you've paid them to set up. So what that means is, if you stop paying them, or if you're no longer a client with them for whatever reason, they retain ownership of that system. Or in other words, you lose access to the system that you paid for in the first place, which sadly can sometimes mean you could lose potentially thousands of dollars that you've already spent in setting up that system and have absolutely nothing to show for it. So in order to avoid this problem, what we do with our clients is we actually give you the system. So what we do is we build the system for you, and then we give you access and ownership of the system. So it's your system. You can do whatever you want with it. So you're not relying on us to continually supply you with leads or to have control over the system. Now, we can still support you and help you with the system, but the difference is it's your system. So in other words, you would give us access to the different tools and software that we use in order to set up this system, but we are the ones that set up the system on your behalf. And it's the same thing with running ads. So when we run ads for our clients, we don't do this inside of our ad account. We do this inside of your ad account, so that you are the one that retains ownership and control of your own ads. Another potential red flag that you can avoid is if you ask this question here, which is, do they also educate and provide value to people in their audience? And this is a bit of a weird one, because a lot of people may not realize that there are a lot of marketing agencies that just spring up overnight. And what happens is they'll, maybe get a few clients, and then they'll get some bad results for those clients. But then because the agency just sprung up overnight, it doesn't really matter. If they get any bad reviews, it doesn't really affect them. They'll just close down the agency and then just start another one under a different name. And the reason this is a problem is because this is why so many people get burned when they use other marketing agencies, because a lot of the time they haven't really been established for a very long time. So how do you know if the marketing agency that you're working with has been established for a long time? Well, there's usually signs. I call them signs of life, right? So one sign of life could be how many client case studies and results and testimonials they have. Another one could be if they actually have a proper website. Do they have a website or do they just have a sales funnel? So if they have a proper website with maybe a blog and you can go back and see that they've been posting articles for years, again, that's going to increase the chances that they've been around for a while. So they have a reputation, they're not going to want to ruin that reputation, and they're not just an agency that has just suddenly sprung up overnight. The other thing you can also do is see if they have a YouTube channel and see if they're also posting on YouTube regularly, because you find that the good agencies, the ones that have been around for quite a long time, those are the ones that are actually posting educational content to educate leads and prospects about how you can actually help them and how they can get their desired result. Now, that doesn't mean they're not going to do any selling in their YouTube videos or their website or their blog, because that would be crazy. At the end of the day, they have a business, right? And if you have a YouTube channel, you don't want to be chasing the vanity metrics. You want to be actually getting clients from those YouTube videos that you record. But the key point is, are they actually creating this educational content? And do they have years of videos or blogs or content that can show that they haven't just sprung up overnight, that they've been doing this for a long time? So obviously with our agency, you can just click on our YouTube channel right now that you're watching and you'll see we've been posting videos for years now, and we've been working with financial advisors for years as well. And my agency has been in business for over 15 years. We actually started out doing web design and development, and then we moved from that into digital marketing and lead generation for the last 10 years. And then in the last 5 years, we've been working more with financial advisors specifically. Now, financial advisors are not the only clients we work with, but it just so happens that probably 80% or more of our clients are financial advisors or people in the financial services industry. So that could include financial advisors, it could also include CPAs and accounting firms, and it can also include insurance agents that sell things like annuities and stuff like that. So we've been around for a long time, and you can actually see that for yourself, like I said, just by going to our YouTube channel or going to our website and going to our blog, and you'll see that there's articles and videos that have been posted for years, which means we're not going to suddenly disappear, the next month. And the reason I mention this is because I've been doing this for so long now that I've seen so many marketing agencies just come and go. They just suddenly spring up overnight. They promise the world, and then a few months later, they've just disappeared. So I've seen this happen so often. So I just want you to be aware of it, that this is something that can happen. And they might be a good agency and maybe they're just starting out, and that's fine. Everyone has to start somewhere. But you also have to be aware that there might be a risk that they could be one of these fly-by-night agencies that they just suddenly, spring out of nowhere, get a few clients, and then once it doesn't work, then they just disappear. And then the final question to ask is, will they help you scale later on? So ideally, what you want is you want to get an agency that helps you get a specific result. So with our agency, the specific result is getting 10 to 30 predictable qualified appointments booked onto your calendar without you having to chase leads for an appointment or cold call or anything like that. So that's the initial goal. And then once you've reached that goal, then if you want to scale up and get even more results, we have other ways that we can help you do that. So that way we can kind of grow with you as you grow. So again, by doing it this way, that also gives the agency another extra incentive to continue to work with you for the long term and to continue to help you. So as your business grows, the agency grows as well. So it's a win-win situation. So again, that's just something to also keep in mind as well when you're looking for a potential marketing agency to work with. So if what I've said in this video has resonated with you and you'd like to learn a little bit more about our services and how we help clients, if you click the link in the description of this video, you'll see a masterclass training that goes through how to get 10, 15, 30 or more predictable appointments with your ideal clients. If you watch that free masterclass training, it will go through how the whole strategy works step by step. And then at the end of that video, I'll go through how we can do all of the work for you if you want to work with us to help you get faster results versus you trying to figure it all out on your own. So if you like what you hear in that free masterclass training, you can click the link below the video to schedule a call and we can go through how it all works and answer any other questions that you might have. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.